Peace, everyone. Peace. Once again, we are out here, not in nature, but at the hotel. Because, I didn't feel like going to nature right now. But hope everyone's doing well today. Hope everyone's doing good. Today, I'm just going to be making a video about what to do when doubting yourself and being in, and just having these anxiety attacks, and having this feeling that you're not going to make it in life, So, I realized that, nowadays, a lot of people are discouraged because they don't believe in themselves. They have a lot of self-doubt and they're very anxious about what's going on in the real world, what's going on in the world in general. So we have to kind of sort of remind ourselves that there is no world outside of us. The only world that exists is within us. So to get past this coronavirus, to get past all this fear-based media and all this stuff that's going on around us, we have to kind of sort of remember and remind ourselves that we are the power. The power is within us. We can do anything, right? We are God's highest form of creation. We can create anything. We can do anything. It just takes time, right? We must understand that each and every moment is a moment of creation. You can create anything, right? If you are in an environment that does not serve you, all you have to do is triumph over your own mental conditioning and create the environment that you want, because you have that kind of power. If you're not in the environment that you want, you can create the environment that you want, right? We must understand when you plant the seed, you are the seed, but sometimes the soil isn't good, right? Or sometimes the soil may be good, but you might be the bad seed. It just depends, because as above, so below. But we must understand that when you are a good seed, but you're planted in bad soil, you're not going to grow correctly. You're not going to grow right. So it's all about realizing and reminding ourselves that when we put ourselves in the right environment, when we put ourselves in the right soil, we will then flourish, prosper, grow abundant, and then have and be fruitful, right? You will know them by their results. In other words, you will know them by their fruits, right? So the whole message, the point of this message is that the ideas, the seeds in this video can give you something to grow off of. That's the whole point, But how do you get past the anxiety? How do you get past the depression? You first have to be willing and able to shift your paradigm. You have to change your paradigm. The paradigm is vitally important to understand because everyone has it. It's in our DNA. It's in our genetics. It's in our genetic programming. Someone else wrote it for you, and you have to change it. You have to understand, if you are not writing your story, someone else is. If you're not speaking up, someone's speaking for you. If you're not defending yourself, then someone else is taking control of you. If you're not programming yourself, someone else is programming you. Because if you don't realize that this is a simulation, and we are programs, in the sense of understanding that a paradigm is a mental program. And this is going into one of the 7 Hermetic principles, which is the law of mentalism. All is mind, the universe is mental, right? Our mind is much like the dirt outside, and our ideas are like the seeds. But even with that being said, we must understand this. If you're not programming yourself, someone else is programming you. In other words, if you're not studying, if you're not researching, if you're not experimenting, if you're not experiencing, then you're living someone else's life. If you're not living your life, you're living someone else's life, period. So we have to understand and remind ourselves that we are the power, right? Why are we here? To create, to serve each other, right? To build a better world. We can build this new world. We can do that because we are literally the co-creators and archetypes and pioneers of the future. We are the co-creators of our reality, which means that we create our reality. You know what I'm saying? We are co-creators of our reality, and we are the archetypes and pioneers of the future. With that being said, don't focus on why you can't. Focus on how you can. And if you don't know how you can, don't worry about it. Just continue to do it. Why? Because you don't know how your lungs breathe. You don't know how you breathe every day. You don't know how you think. You don't know how you develop an appetite. Yeah, you can go through the science of it all, but really we don't know. No one's omniscient. No one's omniscient. No one's all-knowing. Right? You can get to know all, but you will never know all. Because there's a whole, look up there. There's a whole cosmos. There's a whole universe. There's a whole galaxy up there. Right? You can never know everything. But the idea is to get to know everything and be humble. Because Just because you have a lot of money, just because you have a lot of resources, just because you have a lot of success does not mean that you're better than anyone else. You are human. You must understand that there are no important people, just people. No one makes it out of this matrix alive because we all bleed red. We all got the same time. We all got 60 seconds in a minute. We all got 60 minutes in an hour. We all got 24 hours in a day. We all got 7 days a week. We all got 365 days in a year. We all got 52 weeks in a year. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, you have to understand we're all on a level playing field here. The new currency is energy, right? Money is a form of a currency, but the real currency is energy. So we must understand that when you're feeling anxiety, when you're feeling anxious, when you have anxiety, that is nothing more than the desire to want to escape the present moment, thinking about the future. In other words, worry is a waste of imagination. So when you're worrying all the time, you're just wasting your imagination. Everything is imagination, essentially, and we become what we think about most of the time. So we must understand that perception is effortless awareness. If you change your perception, you change your life. If you change your mind, you change your reality. We must understand that perception is reality. It's the realest thing on this planet. We are God's highest God's highest form of creation. We are blessed with 6 mental faculties that not everyone else on this planet has. Not everyone else, but every other animal on this planet has, such as perception, will, imagination, reason, intuition, and memory. Right? Other animals may have these attributes, of course, but they live instinctual, not intuitive. Right? With that being said, we are spiritual beings that have an intellect, and we live in a physical body. In other words, I'm not homeless. I'm houseless, but the home is where I make it. You know what I'm saying? I can buy a house, but I can't buy a home. Money can buy a watch, but it can't buy time. Money cannot make you happy, but it can make you comfortable. Money cannot make you a better person, but it can make you more effective. And money cannot make you smarter, but it can buy you pleasure. Right? Money can buy you food, but it cannot buy you an appetite. Money can buy you a bed, but it cannot buy you sleep. So we must understand that. Be humble, because money is a medium of exchange. It's a currency, right? The energy that you give off, we must understand that the money that we receive in life will be in direct proportion to our contribution, our service. In other words, money is a reward received for a service rendered. Right? It is a reward received for a service rendered, and it is a byproduct of value creation. When we talk about value, it's a game of perception, because I may value something differently than you do. It's all about perception, right? Desire is a manifestation of power. In other words, desire is the expression of want, decision. But we must understand that wanting is a prerequisite to decision. You have to want something first before you decide upon it. And you must understand that you've already made the choice. You're just here to understand why you made the choice. It's all about understanding, and I'm here to give you greater awareness. I'm here to give you understanding, right? But we must understand that faith works best in the unknown, in uncertainty, in uncertainty, right? In the unknown, right? In the shadows, if you will. Faith based upon understanding is the key to freedom. And I'm here to give you understanding. I'm here to give you that greater awareness that what you seek. Because the only thing we seek is greater awareness. Such as, how do we boost our immune system? 7-day vegan challenge, right? You gotta eat healthy because health is wealth. Your food creates your mood. So in other words, you become what you consume. What you consume will consume you. We literally become what we eat. So we have to remind ourselves that when you eat better, you become better, right? We literally become what we eat. Your food creates your mood. If you're eating dead things all the time, you get that energy, right? It's all about vibration. Because the law of attraction, it is a subclass of the law of vibration. We are literally a mass of energy that functions on frequencies. And your frequency is what you frequently see. So if you pay attention to the repetition in your life, literally you will understand that the universe is communicating with you through patterns and synchronicity. Right? What is a vibration? What is a frequency? A frequency is the rate at which something vibrates. So if you're thinking, right? Let's say you're thinking. Your mind is a broadcasting and receiving station. And when you're thinking, it's vibrating at a certain frequency. Again, a frequency is the rate at which something vibrates. Vibrate means quiver, to shake, to move, I said shake already. It's basically just doing this. This is a shake. This is a I'm vibrating right now. But if I hold my hand still, and I'm looking at my hand's still right now, it's still vibrating. How, you might ask? Well, there's blood inside of it. There's atoms. There's molecules. This is a cell. We are literally molecular structures. Our body's a molecular instrument. And when we understand how to tune into things, we will turn into them, because what you tune into, you turn into. So if you listen to mumble rap, if you're watching the media, the news all the time, you know what I'm saying, that fear-based media, if you're watching things that rot your brain, you turn into that. What you focus on grows. So if you're focusing on death, if you're focusing on destruction, if you're focused on chaos, those things will grow. The idea, though, behind this is, do not run away from it, because you've already manifested it. Face your fears. Right? Face your fears. Anxiety, if not taken care of, will suppress you. And when you're suppressing yourself, that'll cause depression. And depression is nothing more than anger turned against us. Right? And anger is a beautiful way of punishing ourselves for someone else's mistakes. We must understand that attachment leads to all suffering. Right? Attachment leads to suffering. And with that being said, attachment leads to envy, which is the shadow of jealousy. When we are depressed, that'll then go into dis-ease. It'll cause dis-ease, such as disease. Get it? Dis-ease, disease. When you're depressed all the time, that causes dis-ease. And then, of course, that goes in not only your physical health, but your mental health as well. There's levels to this shit. There's layers to this shit. There's cores. There's surfaces. There's sources. There's origins, right, to this shit. So we must understand that you become what you eat. And I don't mean that in the sense of mouth only. I mean eyeballs, because you consume 5 different ways with your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your ears, your stomach, right? You consume things in different ways. You know what I'm saying? We have 5 senses, and you consume 5 different ways. With that being said, I don't have my necklace on, but if you understand the eye of Ra tells you your 6 senses, and the 6th sense, such as thought. We are literally in the ocean of motion, and thought is the 6th sense. In other words, thought, energy, is a cosmic energy that permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. And you are the universe unto itself. So we must understand, when you tune into a certain frequency, you will turn into that frequency, because you're allowing the thoughts to permit a feeling. Because your thoughts will then turn into a feeling. Your feeling will then turn into your actions. We literally become what we think about. Because oh man, I hate dude, I can't stand dude. That's going first, it's going to start up here. And it's going to move right here. Because your brain and your heart work together. So it's going to start up right here. It's going to move right here. Right? And then as it's moving right here, it's going to go into that appetite, that crave. You're going to start acting upon how you're feeling. And when you act upon how you feel, well, depending on what you're doing, if it's a good thing, well, they can just say, it feels so good to be alive, baby, because you're doing things that are good for you. But if you're doing bad things, well, the rich get rich and the poor get poor. You know what I'm saying? You have to go into things with a mindset of prosperity, because if you don't, you will lose divinity. We have to understand and remind ourselves that when we live in a world based on appearances, thinking truth regardless of appearance is laborious. And that is why people judge. It is so difficult to think. That is why people judge. And what I mean by to think truth regardless of appearances, this is what I mean. When you think truth regardless of appearance, that means you have to actually apply effort and apply yourself to seek truth, versus just saying, giving up and saying, oh, this is never going to work. I can't see it now, so why does it matter? It's called creation, to bring into existence. You must understand, to manifest, you know what I'm saying? To manifest, it takes time. Things take time to manifest. But it's also called alignment. If you're not in alignment with what you're manifesting, of course you're not going to manifest it. This is sacred geometry here. This is sacred geometry. This is God's plan. This is God's modus operandi. Nothing happens by accident, but it all happens by design. There are no accidents or coincidences. And if it is a coincidence, that is God being anonymous. We are literally God's highest form of creation. Get to know yourself. Temet no see. Know thyself. It all starts with the search for self. Who am I? Right? Who am I? When you ask that question, keep asking it. Keep asking it. Ask it so sincere that where it's like, hold on, who the fuck am I? Because I'm not Keontae Edwards. I'm not Theo Nephilim. That's not me. That's my name. My mom gave me that. My mom gave me Keontae Edwards. That's my name. Those are just 2 words. That's not who I am. And then you might say, this is me. This is not me. This is my body. I am greater than my circumstances. I am greater than this body. I'm not this body. I live in this body. Right? Who I am is great. The biggest part of me you'll never see. And that goes with you, the cat down the road. Goes to everybody. What you see right now is nothing more than a physical manifestation of my highest personality. And the same goes with every other person. Everyone. The idea behind this is to not only evoke your kundalini, to enkindle your kundalini, to evoke your consciousness, but it's also to help you realize that you are greater than what you may think. You are more powerful than what you may think. You are a sovereign being. And when you put that into perspective, well, then you get to say, it feels so good to be alive, baby, because now, remember, what you think, you feel. And what you feel, you act upon. So when you start thinking differently, you start feeling different. When you feel different, no one else can take that from you. Experience is our greatest teacher. And the source of all knowledge is experience. You know? But you will not understand that unless you observe it, because the greatest source of wisdom is observation. The greatest source of wisdom is observation. So we must understand that the eyeballs are the source of light. Not the sun and the sky, but our eyeballs are the source of light. Our ears are the source of sound. Our mouth is the source of all taste. Our nose is the source of smelling. Our hands, our body is the source of feeling. Right? If you can hold it in your head, you can hold it in your hands. Because everything that you think about that has been invented already has been invented. It's already been invented. Everything has already been invented. All you have to do is integrate and innovate and then grow. You know? Integrate, innovate, grow. But you can only grow in the darkness. That's called shadow work. Because too much light will blind you. You have to have the wisdom of the darkness to understand. But I'm not saying to be a bad person. Because I don't actually take the back. Because there is no good or bad. It is our thinking that makes it so. Good or bad, good and bad are teachers. They are measurements of pleasure and pain. So we must understand, remind ourselves that we are greater than these things. You exist as an idea in your head. You exist as an idea in your head. Again, you are not your name. You are not your job. You're just over broke. You're juggling our bills. You're not your job. You are not your career. You are not your achievements. You are not your body. You are not your circumstances. You are not your environment. You are not your mental conditioning. You are greater than these things. But if you want to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm. A paradigm, again, is nothing more than a bunch of fixed ideas from someone else. Commonly known as habits. Habits that we picked up from someone else. And a multitude of habits is nothing more as what we call a paradigm. Again, when we were kids, we did nothing more than act, talk, and think like everyone else around us. And as we grow up, unless we're thinking for ourselves, we're doing the same thing. We're doing the same thing we did as a kid now. Some people go their whole lives planning to follow the follower. They don't follow the leader, they follow the follower. Simon says, monkey see, monkey do. Not realizing that the power is with you all along, Dorothy. The power is with you all along, Dorothy. Right? All you gotta do is just remember that in the the Wizard of Oz when she pulled the curtains and it was some creepy old guy making these illusions, making like he was all big and bad. That's all it is. And once you pull that curtain back and realize that, hold on, what I used to fear ain't even scary. Because what is fear? False evidence appearing real. Faith is the ability to look at the invisible and still expect the incredible. To still have faith is the ability to look at the invisible and still expect the incredible. Faith and fear, though, they come from the same energy. They come from the same energy, but it's how we interpret it, it's how we express it that gives it its power. With that being said, you have the power to change. You have the power to alter. You have the power to shift. You have the power to pivot. You have the power. And if you want to be free, all you got to do is be yourself. And as Bruce Lee would say, if you want to be the best me, you got to be the best you. Understanding dualism, there can be no me without you, because you cannot be you without me. It's a collection here. It was all about interdependence. You see, we interdepend on each other. There is no codependence. There is no independent. It is interdependent. We rely on each other. If I get my arm broke, I rely on you to fix it. I can't fix it myself. I can, but it's so painful, I can't do it. We rely on each other. The only way to get there is together, as the Oracle said. Shout out to the Oracle from the Matrix. You gotta have a third eye looking at these videos, because this video right here is only for those who are woke, who are active, who are consciousness. Right? You gotta be conscious to understand this, because all this is energy. I speak in spirit. I speak spirit. I speak conscious. I speak soul. I let my soul speak. My Atman. Right? With that being said, again, I have consulting and coaching services. You know, if you guys need any type of enlightenment, any type of understanding, any type of awareness about anything, feel free to contact me. You know, I'm always open for conversation, because my videos are controversial. As a coach, again, I help people, I motivate people, I inspire people. I let people know that you have a chance, you can control your life. All you gotta do is take action. How do you take action? Well, first, you gotta write down your goals. All you gotta do is establish them. Just establish. I help people establish their life. Write their life down. Crystallize what they really want. That way they can work towards it faster. Because a person is successful when they know where they are and know where they're going, and they're progressively moving in that direction. Right? Success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Shout out to Earl Nightingale. With that being said, y'all stay healthy. Drink plenty of water. Stay hydrated. And remember that you matter. Peace.